So, my new roommate is refusing to remove her mask indoors, and she's made this whole safe room where we have to decontaminate when we come in because apparently the world is full of plague rats who carry all these diseases. Yeah, she's lost her mind, but you know what? I needed a roommate, I found one online, and she pays all her bills. But what I found her doing in her room at 3 o'clock in the morning, it raises some concerns, so I had to contact the police, and they tell me it's a civil matter. Well then, I say, well okay, I'm just gonna let her keep doing it, and you won't believe what she did next. I need to wash the dishes. That's the stupidest thought to have right now. I know, my roommate just changed the locks, and my hands won't stop shaking, and I'm just sitting in my hallway floor thinking about the crusty plates in the sink. But that's what happens when your brain short circuits, I guess. You focus on the dumbest crap because the real stuff is too big to process. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is going to be long and messy, and I probably sound insane, but I need to tell someone before I completely lose it. I've been sitting outside my apartment for 3 hours now. The neighbors keep walking by, giving me looks, but I simply can't move. I can't go back to there, and I can't leave because, well, where would I go? I should start from the beginning, but honestly, I don't even know where this is anymore. Denise answered, she moved in 8 months ago. Maybe it was when I found her real name, maybe it was last night at 3 a.m. when I caught her with a needle. I don't know anything anymore. Denise answered my Craigslist ad back in February. I just broke up with my ex and needed someone to cover half of the rent ASAP, or I would have to move back with my parents in Ohio. She seemed normal enough over text, 23, working remotely in health consulting. Could pay 3 months up front. When she showed up to the view of the spot, she was wearing this massive N95 mask, face shield, and latex gloves. I figured, okay, some people are still cautious, but whatever, the rent was due in 5 days. She moved in the next week, and that's when things got specific. First it was the mask. She wore it 24/7, even while sleeping. I know because I could hear the muffled breathing through the thin wall. She only takes it off to eat, and only in her room with the door locked. She installed like 6 air purifiers in the common area. The electric bill doubled, but she covered it, so I kept my mouth shut. Then came the UV tunnel. I came home from work one day in March to find that she built this whole decontamination chamber in our entryway out of shower curtains and PVC pipe. There were these UVC lights mounted inside that you had to stand under for 90 seconds before entering the apartment. She taped laminated instructions to the wall with stick figures, showing the proper sanitization stance. I laughed at first, thought it was some kind of art project or something, but she was dead serious. She said, "It's basic science. You work retail. Do you know how many plague rats you interact with daily?" Plague rats? That became her favorite term for basically everybody who wasn't her. The grocery delivery guy, our neighbors, my friends, my own mother when she visited, all plague rats carrying their spike protein and viral loads into our sacred clean space. I should have moved out then, but the rental market was insane and she paid her rent on time, and honestly, part of me felt bad for her. She was clearly struggling with some kind of anxiety thing. I figured it would be better eventually. People can't live like that forever. Right? Right? Oh, so wrong. By May, she converted the entire living room into what she called the clean room. Like an actual clean room with plastic sheeting for wall HEPA filters and this airlock situation made from 2 shower curtains you had to pass through. She moved all her stuff in there. Desk, mini fridge, hot plate, even a porta potty she ordered online. I'm not kidding. She had a portable toilet in our living room because the bathroom was contaminated. She started testing everything for spike proteins. Had this whole kit that she ordered from some sketchy website. Every morning I would wake up to her swabbing the toilet seat, door handles, kitchen counters. She would log all the results in this massive binder with color-coded tabs. Red meant critical contamination and yellow was moderate risk. Green was acceptable levels. Nothing was ever green. So, the Wi-Fi router collection. It started in June. She read somewhere that 5G signals could activate dormant vaccine particles or some crap, so she started buying these protection routers from this guy on Telegram. 47 of them, all stacked in her clean room like some kind of electronic fortress. Our internet was basically unusable because of all the interference, but she was insisting that they were scrambling the frequencies. I know I sound like I'm making this up. I wish I was. I have photos, but they don't even capture how insane it has to be to live with. The constant humming from all the electronics, the UV lighting giving me headaches, and the smell of industrial disinfectant burning my nostril, and the supplements. Oh, the supplements. She had them delivered in bulk, boxes and boxes of pills, powders, and tinctures. All this alternative medicine bullcrap, ivermectin, hydrochloroquine, and something called Deolite Detox. I don't know, pine needle tea. I could go on and on. I looked up some of the receipts that she left lying around once. $3,000 per month on supplements. Who has this kind of money for snake oil? That should have been my first real clue, but I was too deep in the insanity by then to think straight. She would blend these vile smoothies every morning at 5 in the morning. The sound of the Vitamix was like a foghorn. Activated charcoal, some kind of clay, fish oil, and God knows what else. The smell made me want to just run. She drank 2 liters of this sludge daily to flush the toxins and rebuild her immune system from scratch. The breaking point was in September. I brought a guy home. Yeah, it's the first date I've been on since the breakup, and Tony was from my book club. Totally normal dude, accountant. He has a golden retriever. He's a golden retriever, too. We were going to watch a movie and maybe fool around a little, normal human stuff. Denise lost her mind. She was screaming through her mask about viral shedding and contamination protocols and how I've compromised the integrity of the space, and she made Tony stand in the UV tunnel for 20 minutes. Then she sprayed him down with some kind of hospital-grade disinfectant that makes his eyes water. He left, obviously, blocked my number the same night. You could have took us both out, she said after he was gone. She was shaking, tears streaming down her face above the mask, and she said, "Do you know what his vaccination status was? Did you even ask? Oh, you're so selfish." And that's when I started recording our conversations. I don't really know why. Maybe some part of me knew this would all implode eventually, and I would need proof that I was not the crazy one. I have hours of audio on my phone, her ranting about spike proteins, begging me to take her supplement protocol, and crying about how everyone she loved was infected and she was the only pure one left. October was when she started getting sick. Real sick. Not her imaginary contamination crap. She was losing weight, hair falling out by the clumps, and these weird rashes were on her arm. I tried to convince her to see a doctor, but she said they were all pharma shields, who should only want to poison her more. The supplements increased and the testing became obsessive. She started sleeping in the clean room full time. Then came the night terror. She would wake up screaming about needles and being held down and injected with poison. The first time it happened, I tried to check on her, but she barricaded the clean room door. I could hear her in there sobbing and praying and speaking in what sounded like tongues. I heard her word for word say, "Purify me, cleanse me, make me clean again, wash it from my soul." I started sleeping with headphones on, locking my door, of course, and started spending more time at work, at coffee shops, anywhere but home. I was basically paying $1,200 a month to store my clothes and occasionally take a shower. But I still felt responsible for her somehow. Like, if I left and something happened, I don't know, I'm an idiot. Last week, I was going through the mail and found an envelope addressed to Margaret Whitfield Vaughn. I almost threw it in Denise's pile, but the name caught my eye. Whitfield Vaughn? Why did I know that name? So I Googled it. First results nearly made me throw up, and if you're wondering, yes, I changed the name. It's not really Whitfield Vaughn. I don't want to reveal her identity, but just know. Whitfield Vaughn Pharmaceutical announces record profits from vaccine patients. The photo in the article showed their CEO. Dr. Harrison Whitfield Vaughn, once again name changed. At some medical conference, standing next to him was a young woman, identified as his daughter Margaret. She was wearing a medical school sweatshirt that said Harvard, smiling at the camera, looking healthy and normal and absolutely nothing like the skeletal conspiracy theorist barricaded in my living room. Except it was definitely her. Same eyes, same nose, same little scar on her chin from what she told me was a bike accident. But was probably from falling off a yacht or something. Get this. She's the heir to a pharmaceutical CEO. He's worth approximately $80 million, according to networth.com. And, well, daughter of the man who literally held the patent on one of the major vaccines given to children. Had been in medical school herself before dropping out suddenly in 2021 for personal reasons. And now she was living in my apartment, convinced that vaccines were not what people need, spending her trust fund on supplements and Wi-Fi routers while her body fell apart. I sat on that information for days. What do you even do with it? Confront her? Call her parents? Pretend I never found out? I was paralyzed. Everything made sense now. The money, the breakdown, the obsession with blood money, and being infected. She wasn't just another conspiracy theorist. She was running from something, punishing herself for something, and trying to purify herself of her father's fortune, one silver smoothie at a time. Then last night happened. I came home late. I was working the shift at the bar. I was exhausted. I was a little drunk from the shift beer. Just wanted to pass out. The apartment was dark except for the blue grow light in her clean room. I figured she was up monitoring her air quality or whatever. But then I heard the gasp or a moan. I don't know how to describe it, like someone trying not to scream, then a thud. I knocked on the plastic sheeting. I said, "Denise, you okay?" No answer, just this ragged breathing. So I pushed through the shower curtain airlock little thingy, and I knew she would have freaked out about contamination, but something was wrong. The smell hit me first. It was metallic. It smelled like pennies, mixed with that awful supplement smell and something else. It was something chemical. She was on the floor in the corner, back against the wall, and there was a needle in her hand. Not like a drug needle, one of those big medical syringes. It was empty. A rubber tourniquet loose around her arm and a dark liquid dropping down her elbow. I said, "What the hell?" She looked up at me and her eyes were gone. Not literally, but was nothing there. No recognition. No fear, nothing. She whispered, "Had to put it back. The blood has to go back." And that's when I saw the cooler. One of those medical transport coolers with biohazard symbols on it. The lid was open and inside was dozens of blood bags. Hospital bags with labels and barcodes and official-looking stamps. I asked a really weird question I never thought I would have to ask. Whose blood is this? Theirs. The pure ones, the unvaccinated. Bought them from, And then she trailed off, eyes rolling back. She said it cost $90,000. Clean blood, but it's not working. She's still infected, still poisoned. Daddy's poison is in my veins. She started seizing. Full-body convulsions, foam at her mouth, the whole 9 yards, so I called emergency. I held her head so she would not crack it on the concrete floor, and the paramedics had to cut through all her plastic sheeting to get to her. They kept asking what the hell she took. What was in the syringe, but I honestly didn't really know. While they were loading her onto the stretcher, her phone starts to ring. The caller ID said, "Mom, do not answer." It rang and rang and rang, so I answered it. The woman on the other end sounded exhausted, and she said, "Margaret, oh thank God, we've been so worried. Daddy hired another investigator. We just want to bring you home." I hung up. I couldn't deal with it then. The paramedics were already wheeling her out, and I had to follow them to the hospital to give a statement. I sat in the waiting room for 6 hours, just stinking of other people's cigarettes and bar grease, trying to make sense of what I've seen. They would not tell me anything because I'm not family, just that she was stable and they were running testing, so I gave them her real name, Margaret Whitfield Vaughn. The nurse's eyes went wide, and within an hour the waiting room was full of suits, lawyers, I think, maybe security. They asked me a lot of questions about the blood, the syringes, where she got them, and I told them, I don't know. Well, that's mostly the truth. I went home around noon. The apartment was a crime scene. Not literally, I mean no tape or anything, but it felt like one. The clean room was destroyed from the paramedics' plastic sheeting that they tore down. Her supplement arsenal was scattered absolutely everywhere, and the cooler was gone. Someone had been here while I was at the hospital, and they cleaned up everything. But they left other things open. Her journal was still on her desk. It was page after page of ranting about purification, about being born poisoned, about her father's crimes against humanity. Detailed logs of every substance she's taken, ingested, or inhaled trying to clean herself, and the last entry was just the same phrase written over and over. They all remember. They all remember. They all remember. Her parents have been calling my phone nonstop, so I didn't answer. Sebastian, her brother, according to the voicemails, left me a message offering $50,000 to forget this unfortunate situation and return any of Margaret's belongings. As if I could forget finding my roommate with black market blood on our living room? I stayed at a motel last night, could not be there. When I came back this morning to grab some clothes, the locks had been changed. Professional job, new deadbolt, new door handle, everything, and my key just scraped against metal that wouldn't turn. There's a note taped to the door in her handwriting. It said, "Contaminated, do not enter, purification in progress." I can hear her movement inside in voices that were not hers. It was a male voice, multiple people speaking in low tone. Sometimes I heard drilling sounds. Sometimes what sounds like praying or chanting, I don't even know. I've been sitting out here for 3 hours trying to decide what to do. The landlord will not return my calls, and the police say it's a civil matter, unless I have proof of danger. Her family's lawyer sent me a cease and desist email about an hour ago, warning me against spreading false information about the family and suggesting I seek alternate housing immediately. So here I am, locked out of my own apartment by a pharmaceutical heiress who thinks she's possessed by vaccine demons, and my stuff is in there, my whole life is in there, but honestly, I don't think I want it back. Not after what I've seen, not after what I know. The other tenants keep walking past, pretending not to notice me. Denise, Margaret, whoever the hell she is, was right about the whole thing. We're all plague rats, just different kinds of plagues. I think I can hear her in there now. Not her voice, but her movement. It's just the shuffling, it's the way she walks, like she's afraid to put full weights on the ground, like she's trying not to leave a footprint. Like she could float away if she just tried hard enough. My phone's about to go, so I should go. Find somewhere to stay, figure out my next steps, maybe even call a lawyer if I can afford one. But I can't move. I keep thinking about all the stuff on the wall, wondering whose it was and where she got it from. Some desperate person who needed money, some true believer who thought their pure blood could save her, or maybe something worse. The blood remembers. Who the hell says that? What does that even mean? There's a smell coming from under the door now, bleach and sage and something metallic. She's probably in there right now injecting herself with God knows what, trying to purify herself of her father's fortune one vein at a time. Part of me wants to break down the door, try to save her from herself, and a part of me knows that she's already gone, has been gone since long before I met her. Mostly I just feel empty and stupid and tired and, well, really tired. I need to wash the dishes still. My dishes are in there growing mold because I was too much of a coward to do anything to them before I left for work yesterday. Such a small, stupid thing to fixate on, but that's what haunts me. Not the blood or the money or the breakdown, just the imagining of my coffee mug sitting in the sink growing fuzzies in an apartment I'll probably never enter again. The sun's going down now and the hallway's getting cold. But I know I'll be back tomorrow, sitting in the same spot hoping the door will magically open and this will all have some kind of ending to this nightmare. But it probably won't. The door will stay locked. The voices inside will continue their work, and somewhere in a hospital or a psychiatric ward or maybe another clean room built from shower curtains and paranoia, Margaret is still trying to get her father's poison out of her vein. I don't really know how this ends. I probably won't post again. I don't think it will end. I'm moving, that's for sure, and just transforming into something else. We're all infected with something. Money, guilt, fear, whatever. The only difference is some of us know it. They remember. Well, maybe she was right about that too.
Alright guys, what a wild story. We haven't had a story kind of like that in a while. I mean, that was a strange one, for sure. I have a comment that does not agree with OP. Okay, here it is. It says, "You're the a-hole. And honestly, you sound like a terrible person. This woman is clearly having a severe mental health crisis, and instead of helping her, you record her private conversations without consent. That's illegal in some states. Went through her private email, Googled her and invaded her privacy even more, and let her inject herself with black market blood while you just stood there. And now you're on the internet airing her family's business for karma. Oh, cool. You changed their name. It's not hard to find out who she is. She needed help, not a roommate documenting her breakdown for internet points. You could have called her family months ago, and you could have called a wellness check. Instead, you just collected evidence like some creepy person. Also, convenient. How you paint yourself as the victim when you're living there basically for nothing, while she paid for everything because she's rich. And all the utilities, the cleaning supplies, covering your rent when you were short. You left that part out, didn't you? I read it in the comment section. This reads like poverty tourism. Oh, look at that crazy rich girl having a breakdown. Let me tell everyone about it while I'm locked out. Boo-hoo. Get a grip and get a lawyer, because if her family sees this post, you're done for. That's when OP read that comment and wants to clear the air. OP comes back and says, "Are you serious right now? I was living there for nothing, huh? I paid $1,200 a month to live in a biohazard zone. She did not cover my rent when I was short. Where the hell did you read that? I paid my half every single month while dodging UV radiation and sleeping with industrial cleaning, burning my lungs. Call her family." Oh, the family that clearly drove her to this point. Yeah, let me just ring up the daddy who made billions poisoning people and say, "Hey, your daughter who ran away from you is having a breakdown. Come collect her." I'm sure that would have gone well. And I didn't let her inject anything. It was 3 a.m. It was already done when I found her. What am I supposed to do, wrestle a needle out of her? I called emergency. I held her head so she wouldn't crack her skull, and I sat in the hospital for 6 long hours. You know what? Forget you. You have no idea what it's like. The paranoia, the constant testing, the accusations. She called my mother a plague rat. She made my date stand in UV lighting until his eyes started to burn. I had to delete Tinder. I mean, come on. I could not have people over. I couldn't cook because the kitchen was contaminated, and I was basically homeless in my own apartment. But sure, I'm the a-hole for finally telling someone about this insanity after being locked out of my own home. Not the billionaire parents who let their daughter spiral. Not the dealer who sold her human blood. Come on. Not the system that failed her. Me. The person who actually tried to live with her and treat her like a human being instead of a meal ticket. Medical mom of 3, huh? I hope your kids never have to deal with someone like you when they're struggling. Don't you comment on my post again. Guys, I have to know whose side you're on in that little back and forth. I'm with OP. It seems like OP was trying to treat her like a decent person, and she can't be with her 24/7 to make sure she doesn't do something crazy. She called emergency, and that's all she could have really done. If it was me, I wouldn't have put up with that for as long as she did. I would have had to say, "Hey, you need to get out of here with this nonsense." But I want to know what you guys think of it. Drop a comment down below in our comment section. Let's talk about it. I love to read every single comment. And if you're new to the channel, take a second, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you tomorrow. And of course, remember one thing. It's cool to be kind. See ya.